good now.
All
Yeah.
right. So I see a lot of kids, especially pastors' kids. They don't have heart connection. Um, for example, like um, because the parents they force their kids to go to church without conversation or without listening or without giving the reasons, and oftentimes because of that, the kids they they have negative view on Christianity, and like many pastors kids they try to they try to give advice to their kids instead of having a conversation with their kids. I mean, the conversation is that is the most important thing that kids want, but the parents they try to you know give advice by using the scripture, which is not interested in their kids. I mean, and many pastors they are busy, uh, so that they don't really have time to hang out with their kids, and that is really bad influence for their kids. So in my personal opinion, it is not important whether they believe in God or not, but it is more important whether they actually believe in God and then they act according to what they believe. So uh, and their way of living. So the kids they learn through it, not just by talking, but the action of their parents. So it is important for their parents to act or practice the what they believe. Yeah, that is my opinion.
Yeah, thank you. In my opinion is very short, but I think I think the most parents, no, every parents should be intentional to make a heart connection with their children and maintain it. Uh, I saw many parents just work hard to earn the money and to make their children be happy, but there is no heart connection. There is no relationship. I saw many parents, including maybe my dad. So I think the intentional approach is important. So because of that, we need to spend more time with children and intentionally and have a very fun time with their children intentionally because of the uh, heart connection. That's it.
Okay. Um, uh, I observe that heart connections are often destroyed while parents they hurriedly jumping into the sorry, I think that we have a problem of recording because it is recording, but it's not not me on the screen. Maybe something wrong. I'll continue and then let's see how about the next one. So I observed that in most cases, heart connection are destroyed by parents while they actually jumped into giving judgment of the behaviors of the kids rather than listen to them, give them time to express their weakness, express their depressions or even doubts of religion. So I think listening and give time put time in listening and understanding is very important to reconnect the destroyed heart connection between parents and children.
So just my thoughts to wrap up. I think a lot of parents destroy their heart connections by kind of like we've been talking about, this idea of we just jump to the judgment or we jump to the punishment, and in ways that are detrimental. So we're yelling at kids, we're in their face, we're screaming at them, we're doing it while we're angry instead of taking the time and having clear set out boundaries and punishments that go along with those boundaries from the beginning. So there's no question, there's no ability for us to kind of let our anger get the best of us, because we already have told the children, okay, if you break X law, there will be Y punishment. You know what that is. And it's kind of easy to differentiate the punishment of the behavior from our heart connection, and we're not destroying our heart connection by these punishments. That's kind of what Dr. Ross talked about in class as well. So I think that's one of the best things that we can do to be able to help keep the heart connections. And that's kind of the answer to the second question of how should we tell parents to go about this, is I think they should spend more time while things are calm, setting out the clear punishments that go along with the rules, so that we aren't letting our anger get the best of us. So it's kind of more of a proactive approach than a reactive approach for as much as possible.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything that Harlan was saying. So one thing I examined just from my life growing up and the people around was there wasn't a lot of consistent discipline actions with our parents and stuff, just with me and my friends. So like we would do one thing and we would get a punishment, and if we did that same thing, there wouldn't be a consistent punishment. Sometimes our parents would just be lackadaisical and just let us slide, and then other times there would be a more severe punishment, and so there wasn't that consistency. Another thing that kind of damaged heart connections was just the amount of time, especially our father figures would spend with us. In my culture, there were a lot of fathers, they work long shift work, so they would go offshores and work on oil rigs and stuff like that. And so whenever they were at home, they were just really tired and not really wanting to invest and build those heart connections. And so one thing that I've seen parents doing now and my friends and stuff, and one thing I think would be great for a lot of parents to do is whenever they're setting out to discipline their kids, so when their kids do something wrong, just to not react in anger and just take a moment to kind of cool down, like Harlan was saying, and set those disciplinary actions. Like, what is the punishment going to be for A, B, and C? And just making sure that you reaffirm your child as well, and just make sure that those heart connections are strong. Yeah.
Thank you. Mary? Oh, okay. So it seems that Mary cannot hear us. You cannot hear us, right, Mary? Oh, it doesn't make sense to ask. Okay, I'll stop